Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Flow Nissan Statesville. We're going to take a look at their 2022 Nissan Kicks SV. So huge shout out to them for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you check out their website. All that info is down in the description. The Kicks that you see behind me is finished off in black with an MSRP just under $24,000. To start off today's review, let's look at what powers this Kicks. Underneath the hood is a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine paired to the CVT transmission. It pumps out 122 horsepower around 6,300 RPM and 114 pound-feet of torque around 4,000 RPM. This is front-wheel drive. This weighs in right around 2,700 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 9.7 seconds, up to its top speed of 116 miles an hour, and it also has a fuel capacity of 10.8 gallons. You can expect the fuel economy to be 31 miles per gallon in the city and 36 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 103.1 inches. Its overall length is 169.1. It has a width of 69.3 and a height of 63.4 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this Nissan Kicks, let's start off with the Nissan badge, which is front and center. This is also the forward-facing sensor for all of the adaptive cruise and all of that technology, so it's nicely integrated into the badge itself, which doesn't break up the rest of this grille, finished off in gloss black with the chrome surrounding the sides and the lower section, just to blend it nicely with the chrome trim pieces that you can see underneath the headlight housings. Gives it a really nice look. These headlights have a sleek housing. We do have the headlights, high beams, and the turn signals right in the middle. And there's even more chrome trim in the lower section of the bumper just to tie it in, with some black trim pieces running just above that. There are some black trim pieces on both sides as well. Really nice lines in that lower section, plenty of cutouts to provide cooling to this engine, and 2 lines coming down the hood just to give it a great look. As we move on to the side now, this has a really nice set of 17-inch wheels with a multi-spoke design and a 2-tone finish. The side mirrors are body colored. There's some brush trim pieces for the roof racks to give it a really clean look. All of the window trim is blacked out, and great lines run down the side profile. There's a few in the lower side skirt area with some more black trim. It surrounds the fender arches as well, matching with the lower section of the front bumper. Right up underneath the side mirror, all the way back to the rear door, has another great line. Really distinctive back end design too, with that steeply raked rear glass. Really nice fender arches above that back door handle, and that line leads all the way to the taillight, giving it a really clean look. Now on the back glass, the wiper blade is mounted in the lower section to give that driver better visibility. Nissan badge is front and center. There's also a backup camera with all of the parking sensors, and the middle section of the diffuser is finished off in gloss black, tying in nicely, as well as the black trim piece just above that that has all of the backup sensors to tie in with those fender flares, as well as having the mud flaps too to give it a cool look. And with the exterior wrapped up, let's move on to the rear cargo. I'm going to use the button up underneath, and I can lift up this rear hatch where there is a good amount of space with these back seats up. Nice flat surface. You can definitely place a lot of items in here. And underneath the floor, there's even some more hidden storage space, as well as the spare tire and all of those tools. So you could use that to place any items down there if you need to. And then with the back seats folded down, definitely has a lot more interior space, especially for the size of this vehicle. Makes it a lot more versatile. There's barely any overhangs on each side, so you can put in some large items in this smaller vehicle. And then on the right side of this liftgate, there is one grab handle, which makes it very easy to close. And with the exterior and the back wrapped up, let's move on to the back seats. And with the back door open, the door panel has a really nice design. There's some fabric on the armrest, as well as the window control, and some chrome on the release handle. A little bit of storage space behind one of the speakers. And these seats are also cloth. They have a really nice insert to them running throughout. And at 5'10", it's time to work my way into the back, where we do actually step down once we're over that door sill. Really large opening door, so it makes it easy to enter and exit. With the front seat set at my height, I have plenty of room for my feet and my legs, and about 1 inch or 2 above my head. So for the size of this vehicle, it's actually pretty spacious for 3 people to be in the back. We can take a look at the visibility out of the back glass, as well as the side glass. And then right in the middle, there are some USBs, so you can charge any electronics that you may have. And from this angle, you can see with the back seats folded down, just gives you that much more interior space, making this a very practical, smaller size vehicle. And before we work our way to the front seats, this does have remote start. So if I lock it and then hold on this button on the upper section of the key fob, it will automatically start up. It's a really nice feature to have. If you do need to shut the vehicle off for whatever reason, you can just hold on that button, and then I'll use the key fob to unlock it. You can use this button right here to lock and unlock it as well. And the door panel is just like the rear. There's some brush trim pieces right in the middle, as well as all of the window controls, side mirror adjustments, a lot more storage space in the lower section of that door. And then for these front seats, they have the same design with the gray stitching and the insert running down them. And they are also manual seats. So we have the recline and the incline, as well as the height adjustment. And then the bar up front will slide it forwards and backwards. And just like the rear, low door sill, so it makes that much easier to enter and exit. Really wide opening door, so I really like that aspect to it. And looking at the steering wheel, it has a really nice blacked out design with the trim piece right in the middle. On this left side is volume and tuning, as well as all of these controls for that LCD screen and the gauge cluster. On the right side is cruise control, all of the adaptive cruise control settings, even Bluetooth and voice commands. But let's fire this Kicks up now to go through all of that info. With my foot on the brake, that button is over on the right side. We can bring this to life. And looking at this gauge cluster, on the right side is the miles per hour. Everything else is digital, from the tach, the fuel gauge, what gear you're in. You can monitor the adaptive cruise, as well as the time and the outside temperature. And then by using these dials, let's go through a lot more info. If I scroll over, now we can pull up the music. We can also look at different averages, as well as live readouts for MPG and some other averages there. If I scroll over one more time, you can go through some other information, like the different driving aids that you can go into, as well as pulling up the miles per hour in that screen, and some different averages for your driving commute. If I scroll over one more time, there's a lot more information that you can go through and customize, from your vehicle settings to TPMS to maintenance and your clock, all of that information. And we are back to the tach. Really nice to have all of that front and center. And then working our way to the left side of the steering wheel, at the very bottom is the hood and the trunk release. There's also the interior ambient lighting. You can turn that on and off. There are multiple settings to go through. A little bit of a storage bin as well, along with one air vent and some carbon fiber-like trim pieces right in the middle. As we work our way to the center, this is the 8-inch touchscreen system. We are on menu right now, where at the bottom it will show you shortcuts to your phone, as well as audio, which you can currently see. There's connections for Bluetooth, as well as the USBs and different apps to go into. There's info and even settings that you can go into to further customize this. Back on the menu button, you can also scroll over to the music for one way. And on this side, it does have a customizable home menu. So currently it's showing the clock. You could add some other information there as needed. There's also Bluetooth and audio on this left side, as well as power and volume for the radio. A shortcut to some of the camera settings, as well as being able to adjust the brightness of the screen. We have a shortcut to the settings, which you already saw, as well as back and tuning. More of that trim piece surrounds the entire center infotainment system, going all the way over to the passenger side. And then below that, we have all of the AC controls. Temperature is on this left side, fan speed is on the right side, along with the rear defroster, where you'd like the air to go, and the front defroster as well. Down in the lower section, there's a 12 volt along with a USB and a USB-C, even a nice place to put your phone. There's the electronic parking brake, as well as the auto assist. And then making our way to the shifter, the release is in the front. If I pull it back for a reverse, this does have that backup camera with all the guidelines, makes it very nice to have. Drive is all the way back. There's even a low range gear that you can put this vehicle into. And then behind that, there are two cup holders, along with leather and stitching on both sides, even some piano black trim. And then right in the middle is a small armrest, finished off in leather. Has a little bit of storage for any items you'd like to place there. And then over on the glove box, has a good amount of space for all that information. And then we'll take one last look at these seats. Have a really nice design, being finished off in cloth. And then up in the center are the dome lights. So getting this 2022 Nissan Kicks SV out on the road now, this has been a pretty cool smaller size SUV to check out. And I love that Nissan has joined that smaller size SUV market. If you're not looking for a big SUV, but you don't want a sedan either, this is a perfect blend, because you have a lot of space for the size of this, with folding the back seats down and having that large opening in the trunk space. You can fit bicycles back here and whatever other items that you may have. So it's nice that it has that versatility and still giving you a lot of space, even though it's a smaller size vehicle. Even with the back seat room, you're not really sacrificing much. I could easily fit back there And turning radius as we make a U-turn is very tight, so this is a perfect vehicle if you live in the city or you just want something smaller, yet you still want that practicality of having pretty much an open vehicle. So I think it's a great blend of everything. And as far as the interior goes, the SV has some nice materials. Let's give it a little bit of gas though to get up with traffic. And that 0 to 60 time that I mentioned earlier is definitely accurate. It's not a quick vehicle. If you're buying this, you're not looking for performance like that, but it has plenty of power to get it up and moving here. Again, not performance oriented whatsoever. But if I give it some gas there, we can get up and move without getting high in that RPM range. So this is definitely nice. I love how it drives too. It's been very comfortable and quiet. It's taking all of these bumps in the road very nicely. There's no suspension settings or anything like that, but it's definitely cool. We have a few options in this particular model, and the interior ambient lighting is one of them, with the switch located over on this driver's side. Now, I'm not going to be able to show that today because it's very bright out, but that is the only option in this particular model. So for just under $24,000, you can get a brand new vehicle that has a lot of what you need on a daily basis. We have the large screen here. You can go through all of your music. You can pair your phone to this system, so that way you can have that with all the hands-free controls here. And that's pretty much all you need. We have a lot of areas where you can charge electronics as well. Plenty of storage for this smaller vehicle. And we'll give it some gas here. Takes a little bit of time, but we can get up to the speed limit. So now I'm going to set the cruise. And we have the distance pacing at the farthest away. I can control the speed that I'd like to go as well. So I currently have it at 40 miles an hour. However, with the vehicle in front of us going slower than that, we are going to stay with the speed of that vehicle, of course. So it just gives you a little bit more peace of mind. Obviously, you need to be paying attention still. But this is a nice interior for the money. We do have some plastic trim on the dash and on the door panels, but that's to be expected, especially at this price point. But it's nice that it has the options and the features that it has, which is really nice. And then as far as visibility goes, for the smaller size that this is, taking a look over my right shoulder here in just a second, the pillar is a little bulky. You can see it right there, but it's not bad. Over my left shoulder, I can see out of that window. So there's still plenty of glass. You can see all around. We have the backup camera. You can use your side mirrors. I can easily see that vehicle behind me, both in the side mirror and the rear view mirror. And even a glance over my shoulder, I can still see around it. So it's a little bit bulky, but at the same time too, it's not really intrusive for your visibility. And like I mentioned earlier, it's been a very comfortable ride. I could definitely see driving this every single day. It gets great gas mileage, has a small fuel tank too, just over 10 gallons. So you could definitely go a lot of places and really not fill up all that often, which is great for an economy vehicle like this, especially being an SUV, but on that smaller size. But that's gonna wrap it up for this 2022 Nissan Kicks SV. Once again, huge shout out to Flow Nissan Statesville for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. All that info is down in the description. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.